In this video, we are going to be taking another look at Bitcoin and specifically the price action of Bitcoin on the hourly chart. We have a head and shoulders formation forming here, and the likelihood is that we are going to see some significant price changes for Bitcoin in the short term. As we get into this video, guys, if you do find it useful and informative, do go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you would like to stay up to date with the news, technical analysis, those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And Chris, is there anything else that you would like to add before we jump on down and really get into everything Bitcoin?
Just a quick update. Obviously, we know that one of the viewers got scammed yesterday from a Telegram group. Nothing relevant to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏, but I always feel really sad when I hear that somebody's been scammed out of their hard-earned crypto. So just a word of warning. There are people that are impersonating YouTube channels in their own comment section of videos. So no YouTuber in the crypto space is going to message you telling you that they know somebody that's going to be able to do your trading, or DM you, or give you a WhatsApp number or something along those lines, right? They're normally quite easy to spot because obviously there's lots of dots between each letter because of all the ban words that YouTubers put into YouTube to stop these people from being able to drop comments. And nobody in their right mind is going to be running giveaways where you have to send crypto to them first in order to receive more crypto in return. That is a scam. So I just wanted to sort of get that out there because, like I say, another one of our viewers got scammed yesterday. So
yeah, it's very, very annoying and frustrating. So hopefully, guys, be aware that as crypto does get more and more adopted, these scammers will pop up more and more and more. Right, with that said, let's jump on down and get into everything Bitcoin.
Let's do it.
Okay, guys, we're going to quickly start off here talking about what is going on with this head and shoulders formation. Okay, so straight away we can see there's the left shoulder that was formed over here. This actually peaked out up in the 10th of June on this hourly chart. We obviously had the decline coming down towards our 31K area. I think this was, sorry, not 31, $34,500. This is where the shoulder kind of finished before moving on up towards our 41K area. Okay, and that was actually the head. We had the decline bringing us back down towards this 34,500 area. We actually haven't kind of touched on this just yet. And chances are that we probably won't come down to the exact point because actually where we ended up was a pretty good support line. So we could see that actually being the base here of the head, moving up into that right shoulder. So what we're seeing here is obviously this this sideways trading pattern just here exactly is the same as what you're seeing this side. So if we grab our date and time range here, we'll just pop this on, and what we can do is we can see that it actually went on for 1 day and 14 hours, okay, from the left shoulder forming to the head starting, right? So the ultimate thing that we're looking for here, or ultimately what we're looking for, is to see how long this has actually been going on and what the expectations are to then go ahead and move the price back up, right? So this has actually been going for 1 day and 15 hours, so not too dissimilar to this section just here before the price went up. So again, we're looking at the reversal of this. So if we're working backwards from the head, we'd actually start seeing the price rise up towards $38,500 here. And again, the timelines on these two are currently at the same points in time. Okay, so it could go on a little bit longer in sideways trading here, potentially pulling down a tad, but the expectation is eventually we're going to be forming this right shoulder, which pushes the price up to $38,500. Now, this could either be short-lived or could just basically fall short, and this pattern may not actually form at all, right? We've so far seen the left shoulder and the head form, and so the likelihood is that we'll see this right shoulder forming here. Of course, this is crypto and anything can happen, and we could just actually completely bypass that shoulder altogether and do something totally different. Sometimes these patterns, they start forming, but they never actually complete. So the likelihood is, the probability is that there is going to be a right shoulder here, but obviously sometimes that just isn't the case. So we'll have to watch to see how that one continues. But right now, again, that expectation is that we will be pushing the price up to this right shoulder, which would put this price at about $38,500. And again, this could take a little bit of time. So we'll have a look and see from the peak to where we actually called that down. That was another 1 day, 16 hours. So if it's not today, I imagine this will be tomorrow that the price will potentially push up towards this right shoulder at the top here. Okay, so either today or tomorrow, we should be heading up towards $38,000. And it could be a very quick move, like what we saw over here, or it could be a very gradual kind of slow movement up towards this right shoulder. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. But again, the expectations are that we will eventually end up with this, at least the probability does say that we'll end up with $38,500. And then once it's here, obviously lots of other technical pieces of information have to be analyzed as to whether or not you're likely to push up higher, which is unlikely due to probability, is that you'll actually end up pulling back down. And if we do pull back down, then ultimately the likelihood is that you finish this shoulder off down towards the $31,000 level. And again, that's the accumulation zone that we've been speaking about for quite some time in terms of where people like Tesla or whatever were buying their original amounts of Bitcoin. We'll have MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin. This is the accumulation zone for a lot of institutions. So a lot of these formations that you're seeing here and all these other patterns on the bigger timescales, be that Wyckoff distribution, Wyckoff accumulation, etc. It's all about getting the price into a buy area for institutions to load up again, pushing the price higher. I'm pretty confident that we're not going to actually drop down to any lower than kind of 30K. That feels like it is the bottom. The bottom is in for wave 4, in my opinion. And actually what we're likely to see here is a push down, last accumulation before pushing on up. And again, it could be quite volatile. It's going to take a while for the second half of this year, but we have got some pretty interesting price predictions when it comes to Bitcoin. So what we're going to do is just pull up. Obviously, we want to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the death cross, right? Ultimately, the scary piece of news that everyone keeps talking about, right? We'll go through on the 50 and the 200 moving averages. So we can see that the cross has now actually happened. Okay, so we can see that cross just there. We have this little bit of a pullback just now. But again, when we take a look at the history of things, we can obviously see what happened here. There was a pullback initially, right? So the cross happened. We had the pullback, which is what we're seeing right now, and then a push to the upside, right? And we continued that push to the upside. We had the cross here, but actually the surge continued, a pullback, but still we pushed on up, right? And again, when we take a look back further and further, obviously we had this cross here, and obviously the price did pull down and pulled back up higher than where the cross actually occurred. This is the 2018, right? This is actually where the bear market was going and coming in. So a lot of people say that we overlook this one. No, we don't, but it's important to understand that a death cross is nothing more than actually showing you the history of what's happened previously. So this particular cross just here is only showing you this action of price over this side. Okay, it doesn't predict anything. It just tells you what's already happened. Okay, so this particular cross is this particular price action here. This cross here is this particular price action over here, right? So ultimately what you're seeing with the death cross that we're seeing right now is the price action of what's already happened here. Okay, so this is basically a scare tactic that's used to basically try to shake out weak hands, paper hands, whatever you want to call them, out of the market. And obviously what you're seeing here is just what is the fallout of that. We're seeing a little bit of reaction to this cross, but the expectations are that we are going to be pushing higher in due course. And again, this is the daily chart. Let's just hop on out to that weekly chart, and we can see exactly what is going on the bigger picture, right? So we have 5 waves here. This is the Elliott impulse wave. We have wave 1, we have wave 2, wave 3, which was the most significant, which is always the case when it comes to Elliott wave. Wave 4, which I believe the bottom is in, shows us where that is, obviously down here at 30K, and then wave 5 pushing up towards $178,000. And again, the $178,000 is the expectation when we also take into consideration the stock to flow model. The stock to flow model is showing us what's happened previous bull runs as well as where we are right now. It also has a value line, right? Based on the scarcity of Bitcoin, there's a value that should be associated with Bitcoin. And that's this line that kind of travels all the way through this Bitcoin chart, right? So right now we are actually below the value line based on the scarcity of Bitcoin and where it should actually be valued. And again, every bull run we've actually spiked above this value line significantly. And again, this is something that we can be spoken about quite a few times. And back in 2013, this was the initial pull up into the bull run. We had the pull back, which was very significant, and people were very scared at this point, thinking that basically the bull market was over and we'll go in bear market, and then go ahead and we spiked up to basically peak that bull run at the end of the year, very, very significantly higher than the previous spike. We then pulled back down in the bear market, which is quite obvious. We're going into the 2017-2018 bull run. We had another spike. Again, similar kind of scenario, people thinking it was over because it had already done some fantastic highs. There was a pullback. Everyone was a bit scared. Again, what happened where we actually peaked up above our value line here on this model. And again, that was the end of the year of December, right? And this is where it was just shy of $20,000. Again, we go bear market. We obviously have that death cross representing the pullback from that high, and obviously we go under the value line going into the bear market. We started spiking up again and getting some interesting levels, and obviously where we are right now, we've had this initial spike up to 65k just above that value line, and a pullback, right? And the pullback's actually brought us significantly below the value line, guys, and this is the important thing that we have to understand. Now we have institutions here in this space. Ultimately they're incentivized to push the price down and get and accumulate as much as they can of Bitcoin. And they're going to do this from basically wrecking out anyone who's leveraged by basically shorting the position, pushing the price down. People then, will get wind of some FUD that's out there saying it's going down to 20k hypothetically, and then people will start shorting it. Once people start shorting it, well, the institutions will start buying it up and wreck those shorters as well. So ultimately, your people are getting both bull traps and bear traps in one scenario. And this is just standard kind of Wyckoff manipulation. You've seen this already, and you're seeing it happening again. And I do not believe Bitcoin is likely to drop down to 20k, because if it does that, it completely invalidates all of the history that Bitcoin has ever had so far. We can see down here that actually we're at the lowest point that this Bitcoin chart has been on since, well, any of these real low points for any of these bull markets so far. And ultimately, this is indicating that we are going to have a huge surge to the upside very, very soon. And again, this is the second half of 2021. I know it can be scary. We have lots of narratives out there and trying to shake all these retail investors out of the market. But it's important that you understand where we are in the cycle and where things are likely to be going in both the short term and the long term. If you can dollar cost average a better position, that's fantastic. If you're able to basically do some day trading and take advantage of this manipulation that is out there, then you should go ahead and do that kind of thing if you want to, right? I'm not a financial advisor, nor is Chris, but ultimately these are plenty of opportunities in the space when it comes to Bitcoin right now. And again, that expectation to spike this up towards that $300,000 level, right? That is according to the stock to flow model. That is something that we can see here within our charts, where we have the Fibonacci retracement level here, indicating that we can see $178,000 on the chart and a fifth wave, which would be approximately at that level by the end of the year. We obviously take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and here we can see exactly what happened in the 2017 bull run from a Bitcoin dominance perspective. We can see how the bull market started, was pulled all the way down. Bitcoin dominance pulled all the way down to 37% before slowly working its way up towards 70%. Then the altcoins went absolutely parabolic, bringing Bitcoin's dominance down to 32%. We fast forward to 2021, we can see that we were actually slightly higher here. We're about 70% from a Bitcoin dominance point of view, lower than we were over here, but this is because there's more altcoins in the market now. We had the start of the bull run, bringing Bitcoin dominance down to 39%, and the expectations are that we're going to slowly rise Bitcoin dominance up towards 50, maybe 60%, before altcoins go parabolic, bringing Bitcoin dominance down to 30%. That's the expectation here. The history does tend to repeat itself. And in most cases, all of these technical pieces of information, we have the stock to flow model. We have Bitcoin dominance showing us exactly what's happened previously and where things are right now, which are not too dissimilar. We obviously have our 5 impulse waves to the upside here for Elliott theory. And again, we have the Fibonacci retracement tool. All of this stuff is telling me that we're in a bull market and we're heading up towards that really high number of 178k per Bitcoin. Not the 500k, not the $1 million Bitcoin, not this cycle, but a significant rally nonetheless is due here for Bitcoin. So when we take a look at this hourly view and we take a look at what's going on from a head and shoulders point of view, actually, this doesn't bother me. This doesn't scare me. If I know there's a right shoulder coming, I'm able to take advantage of that. And I know that ultimately I can push and basically buy now, sell at the top of the right shoulder, potentially put a stop loss in and sell lower if I need to, right? And ultimately buy back when it goes down to 31k, if it does go down to 31k. My expectations here, guys, are that actually all these short-term moves are kind of irrelevant to the bigger picture. The macro picture is telling me that we are going into a very significant run here for Bitcoin, and it's going to be a really, really good time to be in crypto. Now, Chris, I've been through a few reasonable pieces of technical information. Is there anything else that you feel I've missed off that you want to add for Bitcoin here?
So on the 𝗕𝗪tic video that we did, I talked about stuff outside of crypto. So in particular, the Fed obviously having that announcement that they're going to keep interest rates as they are, but in 2022 they're going to look to increase those, right? I can't actually see that happening. I've said this many times on streams before, like that would slow down the economy. But what we have seen because of this announcement on the US dollar index is the value of the dollar has actually increased to an all-time, well, I say an all-time high, isn't an all-time high, but the highest it's been in 2 months, right? And this is mainly because hedge funds are having to basically I guess mitigate the risk because they've been having short positions, right? And I kind of just wanted to sort of just touch on this again, just to explain that I expect the printing presses to start to run again at high speed, which we saw at points last year and beginning of this year. And this is good for crypto, right? Particularly Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we all know that all boats rise. I expect this to happen towards the end of the year. I don't expect interest rates to be increased. And yeah, it's going to be interesting, but it's worth sort of just flagging because I do think this is one of the reasons why we're still in a bull run, right? Because they're going to have to get those printing presses going again, and the impact on Bitcoin is it drives a lot of hedge funds and other institutions into Bitcoin as it's probably the best store of value right now.
Absolutely. Some important things are happening in the space, guys. It's important not just to focus in on crypto, but there's some external factors Chris was just speaking about there that are very, very important to also to be aware of because they will have an impact here. Guys, if you found this video useful and informative, do go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate that. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you'd like to stay up to date with those new cryptocurrencies, the hidden gems, the technical analysis and news, then why not subscribe? By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It is free. You'll stay well informed. So why not? Right, with that said, done and out of the way, guys, we hope you have a fantastic day and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.